This is the DJI Mini 5 Pro and I love it. Absolutely love it. I'm an outdoors filmmaker and I'm just back from a week-long trip to the Scottish Highlands where I used this drone and this drone alone for the entire time. I didn't once miss any of my larger drones. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you why I think this is almost the perfect 250 gram drone, and therein lies the problem because this drone is not actually a sub 250 gram drone. DJI may have massively screwed up here, and it's not yet completely apparent how that's going to affect most people. So I'm going to discuss that mess towards the end of this video and how actually it doesn't really affect me, and it might not affect you either depending on how and where you plan to use this drone. But first of all, let's just set that controversy aside, and for the next 60 seconds I'm just going to show you what you can do with this drone. The secret to the amazing quality and the amazing creative flexibility of this drone is this. Right here, the new camera. It has got the biggest camera that's ever been on a mini drone, and that is because it's got the biggest sensor. The sensor in this camera is 68% larger than the sensor in the Mini 4 Pro. This has got a 1-inch CMOS sensor, and that makes a massive difference. Because you combine that 1-inch sensor with an f1.8 aperture and 50 megapixels of resolution, and this is a drone with quite a few tricks up its sleeve. One of my favorite tricks is that those 50 megapixels are combined. They take groups of 4 to combine them into one kind of super pixel that's greater than the sum of its parts. I don't want to get too technical here. It's not because I don't understand it. I do, sort of. But the result of that basically is that with the standard focal length in this, which is equivalent to 24 millimeters, you can shoot a fantastic 10-bit 4K video with up to 14 stops of dynamic range, which is the highest dynamic range that has been in one of these mini drones. There's actually more dynamic range than is in some larger drones. And basically what that means is it shoots better quality video, but particularly in high contrast and also low light scenarios. And when you shoot in the D-Log color profile, it gives those of us who color grade a lot more flexibility in post-production to really craft the look that we want our footage to have. Now you might have noticed I said something there. I said the standard focal length. Well, it's only got one lens, so why would I say that? Well, here's probably my favorite trick. This sensor can also sort of crop in and just use the center group of pixels on a one-on-one basis. And when you do that, it gives you the effect of a 48 millimeter lens. And it's not just a digital zoom. It looks much better than a digital zoom. In fact, the footage you get when you switch to that 2x lens, I would say is just as good as the footage that you were able to get from the previous generation, the Mini 4 Pro. In simple terms, it's like having two lenses coming through the one camera, and I am so so impressed with how well it works. Because having those options opens up a whole new world of creative possibilities. You've got more compression of landscapes that makes mountains feel bigger. You get a parallax effect with layers of scenery, and you can get closer shots of things that you maybe wouldn't normally want to get too close to. This makes, in my opinion, the Mini 5 Pro the most creatively the most creatively flexible small drone on the market for outdoor filmmakers. And for those of you who like to slow things down, the Mini 5 Pro will shoot 4K at up to 120 frames per second at a bit rate of 130 megabits per second. Lower resolution and lower bit rate slow motion looks kind of muddy and unpleasant, but this gives you sharp, clear image, even at those higher frame rates. I personally don't really take that many still images with drones. I mostly shoot video, but the photography features on this drone are excellent. You've got things like the ability to create automatic panoramas, but the big thing is the quality of the raw files coming out of that 1-inch sensor are fantastic. You can push them pretty far. There's a lot of detail in them. It's just a really nice little photographic upgrade to the previous generation. Those things are what I see to be sort of the standout upgrades and improvements and main reasons to get this drone, but there are lots of other improvements to the drone as well. It is faster. It can fly at up to 19 meters per second compared to 16 meters per second with the Mini 4 Pro. That's quite a significant speed increase. And I think because it has that extra speed ability, it also makes it better in wind. This drone is capable of handling winds up to 12 meters per second, which is 27 miles per hour, compared to 24 miles per hour with the Mini 4 Pro. The wind resistance with these small drones is just getting better and better with each generation. It now has these two sensors on the front here. Now you've got these vision sensors, you've got 4 of those. There and there, they're used for obstacle avoidance, but you now have these 2 additional sensors. That is Lidar, and what's so good about Lidar is that Lidar works in the dark. So this drone now has fantastic obstacle avoidance during both the day and the night. The new gimbal on this drone can rotate right round 225 degrees, which means you can do quite creative shots. But it also means that you can now shoot true vertical. It's no longer cropping the image, it's actually rotating the camera. Active track has been improved, so it's great for tracking shots, and the drone will automatically bypass or avoid obstacles. Although, as always, there are limits, and I did manage to confuse it and lose it when I sort of ducked in behind these spindly trees. And the new Active Track 360 allows you to easily set flight paths so you can get more complex movements without touching the controls. It now has 42 gigabytes of built-in memory. I think the Mini 4 had 2 gigabytes. So that is finally enough storage where if you forget your card, you can go out and shoot pretty much an entire day. And lastly, battery life has been improved. Not by much, but just a couple of minutes. The battery life in this officially is 36 minutes, which is up 2 minutes from the Mini 4 Pro. Although in practice, in the kind of varied conditions I'm flying in, and it's often quite windy where I'm flying, I get around 25 minutes. And I got the Fly More combo, so that gives me 3 batteries. That gives me nearly 90 minutes of real world, varied condition flight time. All right, very nice, but we got to address something that's not very nice. Let's just get out of the way, the weight problem with the Mini 5 Pro. So I've got here the Mini 4 Pro, previous generation, so let's weigh that with my tiny little set of scales. Look, they look like something, look like stolen from a drug dealer. I thought these were bigger when I bought them. They look bigger in the photograph. So I'll put that on there, but they're highly accurate, so they go to 0.00 of a gram, so that's zeroed. We'll set the Mini 4 on, and it comes to 249 grams, 0.79. So that is definitely under 250 grams. The Mini 5 Pro, on the other hand, weighs 251 grams, 0.9. This drone is nearly 2 grams over the limit. Why does that 250 grams matter? Well, it's a legal limit. It's a legal limit in a lot of countries when it comes to what you can and can't do with drones. And even 1 gram or half a gram means you're suddenly flying potentially illegally. So when would this actually be a problem? Well, countries seem to be taking one of two approaches. One, they're kind of allowing a little bit of tolerance either side of that weight limit, you know, a couple of grams over, that's fine. Or they're being really strict about it. And one of the places that so far, at the time of making this video, seems to be being really strict about it is the UK. So currently in the UK, you can quite happily fly this drone near people. You can quite happily fly this drone in built up areas, urban areas, and it would be legal, but it would be illegal to do that with the newer Mini 5 Pro, unless you did extra certifications. So what is going on and why did this happen? Well, you can sort of get some clues from the information DJI has put out, because the information they put about the weight of this drone compared to previous generations is very different than what they've ever said before, because this hasn't really happened before. And the information talks about differences in material weights. It talks about this plus or minus 4 gram tolerance, which we've never seen them talk about before. And that little bit in there about materials makes me think that this was supposed to be a sub 250 gram drone. Something changed in the manufacturing process with a slightly more dense material, and it's come out 2 grams heavier as a result. And DJI has decided to go ahead and sell it anyway and let you, the user, take the risk that you might be flying illegally. It's pretty poor behavior from DJI, and I'm not angry, but I'm very, very disappointed in you, DJI. This issue isn't a problem for me personally, and it isn't a problem for me for 2 reasons, and one or both of these reasons may apply to you. The first reason is that I don't fly drones in built up areas, very, very rarely anyway, and I don't fly them near people who aren't, people who aren't with me. So that's not so much of a concern. The other thing is that I hold an A2C of C certificate, which is sort of the most basic level of certificate that allows you to fly drones commercially of a certain weight class. And it also removes some restrictions for sub 500 gram drones. So I could fly this drone with my certification legally in built up areas and near people. You're just gonna have to go and do your research for wherever it is that you live and for when you're wanting to get this drone. It feels like this isn't a settled issue. So yeah, really not ideal, because otherwise this is such a fantastic little drone. So in conclusion, my opinion as an outdoor filmmaker is that the Mini 5 Pro is the best the Mini 5 Pro is the best approximately 250 gram drone on the market that shoots great quality photos and videos. And if you're someone like myself who likes to make videos and take photographs in outdoor locations, more remote outdoor locations, and move as fast and light as possible while having a wide range of creative options, this might just be the perfect drone for you. However, if you're looking for a small light drone that you can fly near people or in built up urban areas without concern, well, there is a chance you could be taking a legal risk with this drone unless you've got additional certifications. Now, it could be the authorities won't care. They'll just turn a blind eye. It's a few grams after all, but who wants to be the person who's going to test that out? So the question I have is, what is it that you think? Thanks for watching this video, and I hope that you found it useful. Goodbye.